After the Star Wars celebration had to be cancelled in 2018, they will give it a new this year from April 11th to 15th. An important save the date not only for die-hard Star Wars fans but also for film fans in general, since there is a high chance that you can expect trailers for Star Wars Episode 9 and the series The Mandalorian. In addition, a brand new poster was released and the names of the stars, including Chewbacca actor Jonas Suotamo, were announced, which will answer some critical questions for the fans. The poster is reminiscent of a mix of the nostalgia of the old films and the modernity of the newer parts, as well as a cut through the dark and bright side of power. The final actors who will appear at the celebration aren't fully known yet, which probably has to do with the fact that there are some much bigger names in stock. We don't know yet who will join their acting colleagues, so we are all the more eagerly waiting for further announcements for the Star Wars celebration in April 2019. According to reliable sources from this week's Deadline magazine, it was confirmed that there will be most certainly a second part of Bumblebee. And this, despite the fact that the 2018 Transformers spin-off generated rather modest revenues in the US, especially compared to past Transformers films. In the rest of the world, however, the story about the Yellow Beetle and its youthful owner found many new fans, which is why the producers decided to create a second part of the movie which, in contrast to its big brother Transformers, is cheap to produce. Surprisingly, the ratings of the first part were so high that Bumblebee didn't even have to hide behind the simultaneously released movies Mary Poppins Return and Aquaman. Of course, nothing is known about the plot yet, but there are already speculations according to the Deadline magazine, namely that Bumblebee and Optimus Prime could appear side by side in the sequel. Many fans wish for an Optimus Prime solo movie anyway, which is why this wouldn't be an unlikely scenario at all. We are curious when we will see Bumblebee and Charlie Watson in front of the camera, because so far we don't know any details about the start of the production or the planned release. Streaming giant Netflix could become significantly more expansive in the future. According to its own statement, Netflix is currently still in a test phase, with the aim to find out how existing and new customers react to higher prices. Depending on the subscription, this can add up to €4 a month. Netflix gives the all-clear signal that they just want to test the reaction of customers. Anyways, in the past, such test phases were followed by price increases few months later, as we last saw in summer 2017. So it remains exciting whether we will actually have to pay more for the streaming service in the future or whether the test phase is really just a test phase. Although the production start of Fantastic Beasts 3 should already have started partially, Warner Bros. Will probably have to postpone production until the end of this year. Despite the divided opinions about the second part, the box office results were quite successful. The postponement of the production also fits Warner's new approach, since in the past they wanted to release big productions quickly, however now the focus is more on meeting the audience needs and not pushing a release too fast. In terms of content, we can count again on Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander, and the relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald will probably also play a role after the exciting end of the second part. The cinema launch is currently still planned for 2020, yet due to the current delay, it's not sure when we can finally see Fantastic Beasts 3 in movie theaters. Ryan Reynolds recently spoke about the third Deadpool part and, to the delight of many fans, its future release. After a long period of reticence about Deadpool 3, Reynolds now dropped the bomb at a press conference in China. He will definitely come back as Deadpool. That wasn't always certain, despite the outstanding first two box office results. Reynolds himself had doubts after all. Furthermore, Reynolds revealed that Deadpool 3 would take a completely different approach since, according to him, characters in film sequels are changed too late or not at all, which is why the team will probably opt for the radical path of reinvention. It's also likely that the Deadpool team will at least go for the tried and tested behind the camera, as director David Leitch has already expressed his interest, and even the screenwriters will probably not be replaced due to risk minimization. More details haven't come to light yet, and it will certainly take quite some time until Deadpool 3 is finally produced.